us Professor V.B. Singh, Faculty of Computer Science in the Computers and System Sciences Division of JNU. Welcome to the interview, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, I have a few questions. So the first one is, computer science education is rapidly evolving. How should curricula adapt to balance foundational theory and emerging technologies like AI?
Yeah. Basically, if you take the different disciplines, so computer science is one discipline which rapidly changes, since its beginning. And if you see the various technologies in the world and their adoption in the whole population takes 50 years, 100 years, 20 years, 25 years. But if you see computer technologies, like today's we talk about the LLM models and all these things, they take less than 1 year to diffuse in the whole society. So once we see the computer science as a subject, so we have to see that how to modify, how to change the contents, number one, and number two, their applications also. So a kind of project-based learning and how to see the real-world challenges, real-world problem, and how those problems can be solved using the computer science subjects. So for that, we need to modify, and as we see also that, we see the programming languages. We starting from the era of the COBOL and Fortran and the Pascal, we moved to the C, C++, Visual C++, and today we are using Python, and that's a very powerful language. It has so many libraries. So instead of writing a big program, we have to only include a function. So everything is changing day by day, and now various universities and colleges are also started specialized courses based on the AI. There are applications in IoT, there are applications in cloud, there are applications in cyber securities, and also one area is emerging, that is quantum communications, quantum materials, quantum communications, and quantum cyber securities. So once we are moving, we are facing more challenges, and to handle those challenges, computer science also provided different technologies also.
Right, sir. What gaps do you observe in the technical and conceptual training of students who are entering the advanced computing fields today?
So, if any student want to enter into advanced computer science, so the one thing is that as a concept level, the students should be familiar with how that subject has been evolved, number one. And number two, he should be strong enough in mathematics also, because mathematics is the main backbone also of many subjects of computer science. And most importantly, once he is going for any advanced subject of computer science, so he should see that how the subject is going to be applied in real world. Means a kind of project-based learning again. Suppose I take one example that I teach to MTech students, like maximum entropy principle and their applications. So entropy has been developed, the one entropy being used to handle the uncertainties in the chemistry in 1886, like that, then Serene entropy in 1946. But those concepts are still today used in computer science, even AI and deep learning, all these subjects. So how to apply these concepts in solving some problems? That's the important thing. That, in case of weather forecasting, in case of nowcasting, in case of any kind of fake prediction, share market predictions. So once you want to take any advanced subject, so theoretical concept, mathematical foundations, concept should be clear. Along with that, their applications, how to use those things in solving a real life problem. That's the most important thing.
So this is actually connected to my third question, which is how can interdisciplinary linkages between computer science, public policy or sustainability be more effectively incorporated into academic programs?
It's very relevant. Now today, just to see, if you see any problem, that problem does not tell you that, it's a specific problem for this physics or for the chemistry or the mathematics. No. Problem is a problem. And in itself, that problem is composed of many things, many things. And recently in JNU, we have invited our only JNU students. Let's see that how AI can be applied in different domains. I mean, in social sciences, political sciences, law and governance, environmental sciences, in various domains, And students are very beautifully presented various ideas that how this AI, machine learning, all these advanced techniques can be used to solve real-world challenges of society also, family system also. So, how to get a pattern of the whole society. And so, I think once you want to solve any problem, so you have to apply the multidisciplinary approach, because any real-life problem can't be solved by a single discipline. A single discipline can't solve any problem. So you have to be specific to multidiscipline. And now today's, especially IT and advanced technologies of computer science, being widely used in all the domains. We have started one project also. I am guiding some students for the how to model the air turbulences. How to predict the nowcasting that rainfall will occur within 2 years, within 2 hours, within 3 hours. So for that, the important question is how you are going to simulate the real world happening, what's going on in the environment, how to model that. So, Professor Dinesh Singh has rightly told also in many lectures that once you have to speak mathematics in your own language, only then your language can be converted into mathematical models. So nowadays, it's very important to apply the multidimensional approach, multidisciplinary approach to solve any real-world problem. And I think Government of India scheme, one is Anusandhan National Research Foundation. They have also last year floated some project, AI for Science and Science for AI. So they have opened different disciplines where this AI can be used, the application of AI in various domains. And also they have started a very important scheme how AI can be used in social sciences, in political sciences, for the democracy. So government is also, going the same line, how the technology is moving and how to grasp those technologies in solving our country's problems, societal problems for that.
So as an academic leader and researcher, what experiences have most influenced your approach to teaching and research?
Because, once you move in teaching, once you move in research, day by day you are learning something. And in teaching also, now I am moving totally project-based learning. So first to teach our students the concepts and the theories and all those things, the theoretical background, all those concepts. And then you give some assignment based on some project learning, some real-world problem, that how you can solve this problem by using these concepts. So a student will supposed to learn the theory and all those things, and then he will see that what are the applications of all these things. Then he will be excited that whatever I am getting here, I am learning here, what are the applications in today's problem, to solve today's problem. And once we go for the research, so research basically, in research also, if you see that, somebody asks you that, what is your best paper? It's very difficult to tell you because, it's a stepwise refinement. As you move on, you will get some new idea, something new. And if you think that, before 5 years I have done something, then you find, it is nothing. So it's a stepwise refinement. But what I believe and what I tell to my student also, that go for some fundamental work. Once you, it may take time, but you take some ideas, take some out-of-box thinking, go for some kind of imaginations and idea generation. In research, idea generation is very, very important. Be imaginative, idea generations, and then try to see that whatever problem you have formulated or research question formulated, how this research is going to be used, societal impact, what is societal impact of those research, and how this research is going to be fundamentally contribute in your subject domain. So once two things will be clear, that how it's going to contribute fundamentally in your subject domain, and secondly that what are the societal impact of your research, then true sense, after doing your research, you will find that satisfactorily that I have contributed something in my own domain. That's an important thing, and this objective you should have from the very beginning. Then hopefully, students or any researcher will do a good quality research. Not to move for that numbers, but quality is important rather than quantity, because research, you can't force to do research to anybody, that published 10 papers in 1 year. Not, it's a kind of idea generations, how you are getting some new ideas. It's important thing.
Right, sir. Now this is the last question, that what is your vision for the Center for IT and Emerging Technologies at the University of Jammu, and how can such centers shape future-ready talent?
I'm very happy to be here that the center has so many verticals, and they are planning to start some certificate courses, 6-month, 1-year courses in the emerging technologies, and also they are providing services, different types of services to the entire university in terms of e-governance, in terms of the e-account and all these things. And one idea that maybe the center is implementing, I don't know, but also they should encourage students to come here, and they can provide some space, some space to work for some startup, for some new ideas. Come with some new ideas, here, discuss new ideas with some experts, with some mentors, and they knew how to go with that idea, how to explore that ideas, and what the viability of that idea is, how long this idea will sustain, So after having a mature kind of discussion, if anybody finds that this idea is good, so the center should collaborate with some industry. That my student, these students are there, they have this kind of idea, and then funding can be given by some industry. And second, one important thing is that industry linkage. So the center can be work as a problem solver for the industry. That industry has some problem, and here is a talent of students are there, faculty are there, and how they are going to solve that industry problem. So that will be a kind of the, it's a great learning also. Moving from theory to practical things, and you are solving a real practical problem of the industry. So it can be also a good work for this center, and that will be rare for I assume for any university, that you are taking more problems of the industry of different types, and you are solving those problems here. So I think with passage of time, when time moves, some new ideas will come, and I hope that the center will flourish in coming times.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.